My name's David Fine. Welcome to the Watch Your Lip Fast Fish Beach Fishing Series, where we're going to help you become a successful beach fisherman. Guys, one of the staple baits for beach fishermen all over the southeast United States are sand fleas. That's right, Emeritus and Aloga, the sand flea is one of the best baits. It's a little bit different than using a bait fish, so we're going to teach you how to get them, how to use them. So check this out. Let's learn something. Guys, we call them sand fleas. Mole crabs are actually a common name for them. Genus Emerita. It's actually a crab. Doesn't look much like a crab, but they are actually crabs, and the beaches in southeast Florida are loaded with them. So they can be a little tricky, a little tough to locate, but guys, when you have a few tools in your hands, such as this sand flea rake, you're going to be very, very successful in catching and finding and using sand fleas. So guys, I'm going to show you how to use this thing in a minute. But guys, let's talk about the sand flea. What can you catch with a sand flea? I've actually caught a snook on a sand flea before, but pompano, palometa, bonefish, permit. You can catch blue runners, jacks, snapper, mangrove snapper. Love them at night and catch mangrove snapper. Guys, it's a great bait. And so fishing for them is a little different, but we're going to teach you how to do that. First, you got to find them though. Sand fleas live on the shoreline where the water meets the sand. And when the wave brings the water up on the sand, they actually live under the sand. They call them mole crabs because they dig underneath the sand. But when the wave comes up, the sand flea will stick these little antennae up. They look like little feathers. And what those do is they filter feed with those antennae, and they catch little plankton as the water goes up onto the beach. The little feathery antennae come up, they catch plankton, and then they come back. Outgoing tide tends to be the best time of the day to catch permit. Well, why is that? I believe it's because the tide is going out and the sand fleas need to actually get up out of the sand and scurry along, and they expose themselves temporarily and find themselves visible. And so permit and pompano, outgoing tide tends to be the best time to fish for those species using shellfish such as sand fleas and crabs. These guys live in colonies, guys. They can be easy to locate. All you got to do is know what to look for. So when they stick their little feathery antennae up, it leaves a little wake, believe it or not, in the water, and it can you can kind of look like a rock or something like that. But when you have a whole cluster of sand fleas and they all have their little antennas up, as the water recedes, you can see where the water is trickling over these little antennae, and it makes that little disturbance. It becomes very obvious once you know what to look for. Once you see that, you got to kind of sneak up on them, because when they feel your footsteps coming, they actually will dig down deep underneath the sand and scurry. So you want to be quick about it. So you see their antenna, the wave is starting to recede. You go up with your rake and you scoop down, just like you're panning for gold. We're panning for golden sand fleas. And so you bring your scoop up, and then you rinse out all the sand. The sand falls through the little tiny holes in the sand flea rake, and you'll be left with, hopefully, a bunch of sand fleas. They stay alive very well in a bucket. You can put them in a 5-gallon bucket. You can have dozens and dozens of them in there. You put a bubbler or an aerator in the bucket, and you're good to go with sand fleas. They actually freeze well. So if you want to bring them home, you can pop them in the freezer. Some people brine them first, and they'll put them in a pot of boiling water for just like 30 seconds or something like that until they start turning colors, and then take them out. And then they'll put them in Ziploc bags and put them in the freezer. That works well as well. But guys, I've had great luck just putting them in a Ziploc bag, putting them in the freezer. You unfreeze them and you put them out, and they catch fish. It's a great bait. You'd be surprised how many things will eat a sand flea. How do you fish them? If you're fishing them live, guys, a small hook, pretty small hook would be good. And you just go in the top shell and then out through the bottom. There's a place where you can see the little eyes that are sticking out. I like to go through the back end. You don't want to put the hook through the head. So you put it through the back end. And I use a guppy rig, usually with 3 or 4 hooks, and with a weight on the bottom, depending on the current, depending on the waves and the weeds, the weight will be different, anywhere from a 1 ounce to a 3 ounce or 4 ounce, depending on conditions. But if you have that guppy rig and you have those sand fleas, guys, we've caught big permit on a sand flea. It's like popcorn for a permit. It's pretty cool. But guys, that's about all the time we have for the day. Hope you learned something. Sand fleas are a great bait. It's a universal bait. Use them, you'll catch fish, guaranteed. Give me a like, thumbs up on the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, so when we put our videos out, you'll get notified. And comment down below. That helps out our channel, first of all, but let us know what type of video you'd like to see next, and we will make a video and send it your way. So guys, God bless, take care, stay safe. Let's get out there and rip some lips. Watch your lip.